Here we're going to tie the flying foam ant. First thing we're going to do is just start our thread here. We're going to take it all the way back to the bend of the hook, and I'll take it forward again. I'm going to take it about to the 60% point of my hook here. Then I'm going to take some 2mm thin black foam here, and I'm going to cut a chunk here that's about the width of the gap of the hook. Then I'm going to cut a little notch in it. Then I'm just going to capture that foam. I'm going to wrap back all the way to the bend. Then I'm going to bite down through this foam, really secure it, make sure it's not going to go anywhere. I'll build up a bit of a body here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our thread forward to about that 60% point again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that foam over the top of the fly, then bite down on it. And I'm going to wrap forward just a little bit here. Not too much. Just enough to give myself a little bit of room here to work with. Then I'll build up a little bit of a body here, or a little smooth thread area. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tie in the wings. For that, I'm going to use some white McFlylon. And I'm going to cut out a chunk that's about half of the diameter. So here's the diameter here of a chunk of McFlylon. I'm going to cut out about half of that here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that McFlylon, I'm going to tie it right in the middle of my clump here. Then I'm going to wrap back over each of these little sides here to force the wings to lay back. This far one's fighting me a little bit here. Let's see if I can grab it. There we go. So I just split those wings just like so. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add just a strand of pearl crystal flash, and we're going to tie it in the same way, just in the middle of the crystal flash. And then I'm going to pull each side to the side. Just like so. And then what we can do is just trim these wings. I'm going to trim them so that they're just slightly longer than the body of the fly. So I'm just going to pull them, trim them so they're just a little longer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tie in a brown hackle. I'm using just a whiting Rooster cape hackle. Now I'm just going to take it and wrap it around that little exposed thread body area, and I'm going to wrap it all the way forward to that foam. And what I can do is actually lift the foam up. I'm going to capture that feather underneath that foam, give it plenty of wraps. I'm using a brown hackle here, but you can use black if you want to go with a totally black ant. This one's kind of a two-toner. You can tie it in all cinnamon colors too. You just substitute for some tan foam, tan thread. You can even do a red foam head. Then what I'm going to do is just build up a little bit of a thread kind of body and head here, up here at the front. Once I've done that, I'm going to take my thread all the way to the front. I'm going to pull this little piece of foam over. I'm going to bite down with it with my thread. Give my foam a bit of a haircut here so I can whip finish. Then all you're going to do is whip finish. Then I'm going to trim this foam so I get a little bit of a kind of an ant head going on here. I'll just kind of cut a little half moon shape. Doesn't have to be necessarily perfect, but just a little head. Got a little piece of antron that's out of place. I'll just trim them out of there. And really, that's all there is to the foam flying ant. Last thing I usually like to do is I'll take a little bit of Zap-A-Gap. And I'll just hit the threads here. You can also use some cement. Just get all those threads underneath. And you can buy all the materials for this fly at intheriffle.com.